Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, we're back with the Morning Crossfire. This morning, of course, moving on with our conversations. We usually have an open mic Friday at this time. And don't forget, today is a Jackpot Friday. As far as one game is concerned, if you've not gone on oneplay.ng to get your ticket, 1, 2, or 3, or as much as you want to get, you have to do that now. Because before I leave this morning, I'll do the draw and we'll pick the winner. On Fridays, there's only one person who goes on with a jackpot, and that jackpot is 50,000 naira. 50,000 naira. All right, so all you have to do is get to the website www.oneplay.ng. All right, that's number one, the word play together. One play, the number one, and the word play together. Oneplay.ng. All right, you put that on your browser or in your browser. You type it and you go there. When you get to the page, your website, you see several boxes with several radio stations, but you have to click on the box that has Nigeria Info 99.3. Nigeria Info 99.3. When you click on that box, you see a button there that says play for 500 naira. So you can play for 500 naira. That's one ticket, or you can pick more than one ticket. Since it's a jackpot, the more you play, the more your chances of winning. All right, so you can buy one, buy two. If you buy two tickets, that's 1,000. Buy three, and so on and so forth. You can pay online conveniently. You enter your phone number without the first zero. So if your number is 0700-993-993-993, you enter 70, not the first zero. All right. If your number is 080, you enter 80 and then your number. Okay. And then, of course, before I leave this morning, we will do the live draw here in the studio to pick the winner of the jackpot. 50,000 naira for grabs, courtesy oneplay.ng. Head to the website right now and participate in that game. I guess this morning we're doing a little bit of a different thing today, though it's an open mic Friday. Prof. Abiodun Adeniyi is our guest, so he will be speaking this morning. He is, of course, from Baze University. All right, Baze University, and he'll be talking about the outcome of the meeting between the president and state governors. He was on with me, but we've lost him, so once he comes up, we'll put him on. Stay with us. All right, 0700-993-993-993. We're all aware of what the president put out as a statement after the meeting with the governors. He talked about food security and affordability. He talked about security. He talked about, of course, or should I say insecurity. And he talked about things including state policing and all that. Then he talked about food security. He also talked about monetary policy and the CBN, because all these things affect whatever the conversation is in the country as we speak. So he divided them into three. Security of life and property. Then he talked about food security, and then talked about economic matters as the monetary policy and the CBN, so the exchange rate in particular. 0700-993-993-993 number to call. What are your thoughts on what the president has had to say? What the governors, of course, also had to say. Would like to hear from you. 0700-993-993-993 number to call. Prof, please, can you kindly put your video on so we can see you? Good morning once again. Kindly enable your video, Prof, so we can see you, sir.
Okay, just in a second.
All right, sir. All right, no problem at all. 0700-993-993-993 is number to call. I want to read a bit of what the president said before we pick the first call. So this is what he said. My dear Nigerians, this is not fellow Nigerians, for a change, it's not fellow Nigerians. Dear Nigerians, my administration is dedicated to evolving homegrown solutions to tackle our nation's food security challenges head on, including setting up schemes to bolster local food production and cut out all forms of rent-seeking tied to food importation. I know some of you have been talking about this rent-seeking of an issue. So someone has to collect money from you for you to be able to move food around, to bring food into the country, to bring food into the state. They want to cut out all is what he says. All. Underline the word all. He went on to say, quote, I reiterated this commitment during my emergency meeting today with the State House, with all the 36 state governors, the VP, Kashim Shettima, National Security Advisor, IGP, and DGDSS. He says, first heading on the security of life property. 1. I have approved the creation of a committee that includes state governors and federal government representatives to explore, among other things, the possibility of establishing state police. Number 2, I've also endorsed the training and equipping of forest rangers by subnational governments to protect human and natural resources in our communities. My stance is unequivocal. We must move aggressively to examine the issues raised, including the potential for establishing state police. Prof, are you there with us, please? We can't see you yet, sir. Hello, Prof. Abiodun, are you there? All right, more from what the president said. On food security, he says, following reports out of Kanu and other areas about large-scale hoarding of food in some warehouses, I have instructed the National Security Advisor, the Inspector General of Police, the DGDSS to coordinate closely. To coordinate closely to ensure that security agencies in the states inspect such warehouses and take follow-up actions. He says, number 1, we cannot allow speculators, hoarders, and rent seekers to undermine our efforts in ensuring that food is widely available to all Nigerians. 2, I will not establish price control board, nor will I approve the importation of food. I don't think that means that he's banning food importation. What he means to say is that government will not import food as a policy to address the high cost of food in the country. He says we must extricate ourselves from this predicament because importation only enables rent seekers to perpetrate fraud and mismanagement at our collective expense. So who are those rent seekers he's talking about? And are they beyond the government regulation? Number 3 said, because it sounds like the rent seekers are powerful and they cannot be reached. Maybe they're invincible, and invisible. Number 3 said, instead, we will support our farmers with schemes that encourage them to cultivate more food for the nation. And that question is, that support of food farmers, how long will it take to support them to plant, to grow, when we will need food now? That's what I want Prof to also answer as well. Number 4, we must also rapidly but thoughtfully implement our livestock development and management plans, including dairy farming and others. Okay, some of these things, you hear them, you don't see them, I don't know. On monetary policy and the CBN, he says, I urge all governors to trust the Central Bank of Nigeria with the management of our country's monetary policy and emphasize the need for designated institutions to effectively fulfill their mandate. The president says the cacophony of postulations on the fluctuation of foreign exchange rates, all those things people are saying, all the analysis and all that, because of cacophony, is adversely affecting the market. So we need to shush. It's how you're saying, sir. Not everyone can be an expert. Not everyone can be an expert. So the likes of Bismarck Rwane, the likes of Carlo Aja, my friend, the likes of it's the president saying they should just hush for now. Says if we have assigned someone a task, we must allow them to perform it. If they fail, then we must find a way to quickly remove them from the system. So say you should allow Cardoso to brief. Says I also ask our governors to always prioritize the welfare and prosperity of our people in their development programs, and I assure them that the federal government will continue to work diligently to improve the nation's overall revenue profile. As leaders, we must all work together to address insecurity, food security, and out-of-school children. Okay, I don't know where that came from. Let's go over to the phone lines. We'll try to get Prof on very soon. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Who do we have on the line?
This is Pastor Ladipo.
Well, Pastor, what do you think of the president's meeting with the governors?
You see, it's like we are reducing the mind. You know what I said to you? This government forgets to realize a lot of things is tied, especially farming, is tied to petroleum produce. I will give you an example. If the farmer produces tomatoes in the north and he has to bring it to the west here to sell, it will take a diesel vehicle to bring it down. How much is the cost of diesel? That's it. Consider, can't they even reason on that line? We need this wheelbarrow to bring it from that side. Secondly, I think government should have somebody who will criticize government policy, both constructively and unconstructively.
All right,
so that
thank you.
the next person criticize
Thank you very
can
much.
look deeply
Thank you
inward
very much.
and make some corrections.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Prof. Abiodun, are you there, sir? Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you, and I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yes,
can you hear me?
yes. Though we can't see you, but we can.
Yeah, I've been working on it. I'm
Okay.
sorry. It's
Okay.
a device issue.
Okay, no problem. Prof, we'll go with this for now. For those of you who want, Abiodun Adeniyi is the head of department of mass communication, Baze University, Abuja. Professor Adeniyi is a public affairs analyst. He was a communications consultant, World Bank Economic Reform and Governance Project (ERGP) at the Public Procurement Presidency, Abuja, 2009-2013. Prof, it's good to have you. I want your overall first take on that meeting and the outcome of the meeting with between the president and the 36 state governors, as well as some of the security heads.
I think it was a welcome development coming against the background of the groundswell of opinion on so many inadequacies in the land, adequacies around food security, inadequacies around cost of living crisis, that of course around we should subsidize fuel, subsidize energy, and such other issues bedeviling us. And of course, there are threats to our political system, the evolution of our democracy. Some of these contradictions, some of these difficulties are threatening the joy, the well-being of the people, and we're beginning to fear for our democracy and for the future of this country. So it was a welcome development that the president was taking the bull by the horn, trying to meet with all stakeholders, including the governors across party lines, to resolve or to find some solutions. Yes, there have been some initiatives. Those initiatives are welcomed, but you see, it goes beyond these optics, these initiatives really. Our bane is actually the implementation of some of these programs and outlines that government officials often announce. Look, since President Tinubu took over, if he has been able to implement even 20% of some of his many pronouncements, I'm sure we won't be at this low that we presently are now. Remember some months ago, he announced some palliatives, some of them amounting to billions of naira. But I dare say that, those announcements, those programs was probably initiated in the breach. Nothing was, nobody in this country will say that they were beneficiaries of those initiatives, those programs. At the end of the day, most of the time, what you see is that, yes, it will be initiated, money should be released, or materials should be released, but to get hijacked at some point, by some fat cats, barracudas, that are working against the interests of the Nigerian people. So if we have to make progress, I think that the president and the leaders, the governors, will have to muster enough political will, to actually forget about whose ox is God and make sure that programs get to those who are supposed to benefit from it, the people, that is. They should enforce things, processes and procedures, use agencies that they have on their hands, to ensure proper execution of policy pronouncements. Otherwise, we'll just continue to move in circles. You will see this jamboree of meetings. You see this excitement of announcements, pronouncements. At the end of the day, it ends like that, and we'll continue in the situation that we are in. Insecurity, sufferings among the people, fuel shortage, food shortage, and all kinds of shortages that you can actually imagine that will be in now in this century that we are in, my brother.
Interesting, Prof. You talked about this because this is the second time the president will be meeting with state governors. If you're not mistaken, do anything really come out of these meetings with the governors of the states? In your opinion?
Yeah, that's the point, really. You see, everything has been politicized. Everything has been obfuscated by politics in different dimensions. The first one is that, do not forget, we have an APC-led government, and we have governors who are from PDP states. Some of the governors who are from PDP states will want to make a statement by either keying in completely or maybe half-assedly. So the commitment may not be there. That's one concern. The other concern is that even when the policy pronouncements are made, political considerations may prevent
All right. Interesting points you made. 0700-993-993-993. For our listeners, and I think the listeners have a special line if you're finding it difficult to get through to us with that main line, 0201-465-7190. Take one call before we go for a break. We'll come back. We'll continue with our guests. Good morning.
Good morning, Kofi Bartels.
Yeah, name and contribution, please.
Emeka is my name from Satellite.
Good to hear from you.
I want to thank the Prof. He has properly analyzed everything, and I think I align with him as well. I am not a fan of this administration. I'm not a fan of the president. But I think the communique he came up with is one that I welcome, especially as it concerns the issue of state policing and forest rangers. Because one of the reasons why we're having food shortage is because our farmers are being driven off their farms. They're not allowed to farm. There is no security for them. So who are those that are farming today? If you come to my village, Gary used to be one of the cheapest things. But today, in my village in Abia State, Gary is even more expensive in Abia State, in my village, than it is here in Lagos, which is quite unfortunate. Because
but Emeka, it's also partly because your brothers and sisters have stopped farming. Most of them have stopped farming. They are not interested in that.
You are not hearing me. I said our farmers are being driven off their farms because of insecurity.
Yeah, apart from insecurity, my brother, some of your brothers and sisters are not interested in farming anymore. That's another issue.
I disagree with you.
All right.
Even the elderly people who are known to be farmers are afraid of going to the farms these days. So if we could establish those forest rangers, because it goes beyond rhetoric, not beautifully scripted rhetoric.
All right.
It has to talk about practicability. Be able to be pragmatic in what is like the Prof mentioned.
Okay, you've spent more than a minute. Thank you so much. Feel free to call back. Prof, we'll be right back with you after this break.
Okay.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this.
If the pain and the ache they cause you wahala, make you use rub.
Alright, yo fam, my name is brother Shaggy aka Mr. Rob. And I can't tell you, say Rob they deliver fast and long-lasting relief for muscle aches, joint pains, and symptoms of cold and catarrh. Robin, pain out.
We get one love, we're showing big love, making homes available to everyone. Let's grow peace and build unity, so every one of us can live as one.
Hey, this Valentine's season, Adro Homes don't carry one love promo to Nagidigba for everyone to enjoy. With 25% to 45% discount, come buy your own land. Take celebrate with your lover this season. For this one love promo, with as low as 50,000 naira initial deposit, you said don't become landlord with that. Make you live in peace and unity with your family. Plus, say Adro Home go summer you 12 to 48 months payment plan. We gift items for this one love promo season. No gree make this opportunity pass you by. Or you call this number 0813-421-6595 or 0909-393-4115. Adro Homes one love promo. Terms and conditions deal.
Adron Homes.
Building cities, communities, and homes.
You don't.
of trading himself. James, hello.
Susan, I beg. Say you dey whine me.
For where? You who no longer depend solely on your salary.
So you people trade and don't carry us along in this office, Abi?
Jerry, now you dey talk like this? Who doesn't want an extra stream of income? But I'm still looking for better trading conditions, I beg. Fast execution of my trades and possibly an account where swap no go carry all my profits where I no know.
Guy, hfm.com.
For me, I wouldn't mind better spreads at all, and it won't be a bad idea to be able to make withdrawals in a flash.
All we want is transparency and great customer service.
Guys, I said hfm.com.
Which one is hfm.com again?
Switch to HFM today to enjoy ultra-fast execution, 1 to 2,000 leverage, tight spreads, swap-free, and more.
Guy, show us the way now.
Wait, are you sure deposits and withdrawals are sharp?
I said hfm.com. Visit www.hfm.com. HFM, online trading at its finest.
Beauty and elegance, attraction with confidence, irresistible fragrance, freshness in the air, as you walk hesitant, the feeling is cool, eyes on you, quality fragrance that makes you feel so good. Come on everybody, Avanti, unforgettable fragrance, the sense of confidence and elegance. Avanti, quality, luxury.
Boost your confidence with a long-lasting fragrance from Avanti by Imperial. A luxury perfume with scents available for men, women, and Avanti Velvet for everyone. Order now from Jumia, Kunga, and stores nationwide. Avanti is a product of Imperial International Limited.
Folake, where are you going? Won't you go to the cashier to settle your medical bills?
Bills? Cashier? My HM already handles that.
You and these HMOs every time. Is it not the same HMOs we all know?
No, Reliance HMO is different. For example, I'm only here because I needed a physical examination. Other times, I chat with a doctor from the comfort of my home. I can even get a prescription delivered.
But they only cover you when you are ill.
That's not true. I had my facials done courtesy of my HMO. Even my workout sessions are covered by Reliance HMO.
How about hospitals?
Reliance HMO has a hospital roaming. Their relationship with providers makes it so easy to access care at any facility. Approvals take a short time.
They tell you what you're covered for?
With the Reliance Care app, I have all I need in my back pocket. I can connect with a rep in seconds.
How is that even possible?
This is Reliance HMO, the next generation health plan for businesses. Visit www.getreliancehealth.com or call 0201 700 1580.
See, I be short to cut my star. I know they like long thing at all. That is why star 919 hash from UBA be my sure party. Hey, it no get any transaction where I won't do. Why not go use star 919 hash? Whether I won't buy airtime, na star 919 hash. Whether I won't buy data, na star 919 hash. Whether I won't quick send money to my papa, or I want run small jollyment for my DSTV something, na still star 919 hash. And you want something why this in the sweet me for body? Now say I no need the data. I don't need hotspot. Whether na 99 Pro Max or na Palace at 3310, na star 919 hash from UBA. Now be my short party. No go sleep on top bicycle. Make yourself begin enjoy star 919 hash from UBA today.
For quick and easy solutions, just dial star 919 hash to use UBA's USSD platform. Get your simple transactions done, from transfers to bill payments to airtime and data purchase. Star 919 hash as you covered. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Get in on the action with Betano, your exciting destination for sports betting. Enjoy an award-winning experience with amazing betting options, cash outs and missions, as well as other features. Join now and get a welcome bonus of up to 200,000 naira. Betano.ng, the game starts now.
The guy show me love, Oga show your boy love. I don't carry mega love come for now inside this month of love. Na Airtel mega offer with just 7,500 naira. You fit arrange Airtel MiFi with up to 120 gigabytes, and the 10K go run router for you with up to 240 gigabytes data. My people, don't show love no pass like this, oh.
Visit a nearby store or visit www.airtel.com.ng. Offer valid while stock lasts. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
I love my honey well and my honey well love me. Take it in, and I take it, enjoy it. 2 minutes of favorite to Dolando. I love honey well. Honey well is back with it. Everybody come and sing. Picking they love it, mama they love it, papa they love it, uncle they love it.
Now your favorite brand, Honeywell, is back. Available in noodles, semolina, and pasta in stores nationwide.
I love Honeywell.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Live from the heart of Victoria Island, you're listening to your number one station, 99.3 Nigeria Info. This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. 0700-993-993-993 number to call this morning as we have analysis of the outcome of Mr. President Bola Tinubu's meeting with 36 state governors and some heads of some security establishments in the country. Our guest this morning, Professor Abiodun Adeniyi, is the head of the Department of Mass Communications, Baze University, Abuja. He's a public affairs analyst. He was communications consultant with the World Bank Economic Reform and Governance Project, ERGP, the Bureau of Public Procurement at the presidency in Abuja from 2009 to 2013. He joins us via video link this morning. You be a part of the conversation, please call the number 0700-993-993. And our female listeners who cannot get through to us using that number because of the volume of calls can call the special line for female listeners 0201-465-7190. 0201-465-7190. I'm Kofi Bartels. Some morning crossfire, different flavor to Open Mic Friday, which we have every single Friday. Of course, I'm sure most of you are already aware of the resolutions reached at the end of the meeting between Mr. President and the 36 governors, as well as the heads of DSS, the IGP of Police, and the National Security Advisor. Major takeaway from the president, because some statements have been put out from the president's media aides. For instance, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Temitayo Ajayi, released a statement. Also, that statement was issued by Bayo Nanuga, but the president himself put out his tweet yesterday afternoon, so you can check it out. One of the things from that statement from Bayo Nanuga regarding insecurity, which is affecting farming and food production, the president made 4 major pronouncements. More police personnel to be recruited to strengthen the police force. The president also saying that the governors, federal government will work with the National Assembly to put in place a mechanism for vigilantes. But the president had to come up with a statement saying, they've not decided to have state police, but they want to discuss it to see in a committee whether it can be done. Also, forest rangers, they want to equip more forest rangers to keep the forests safe. Not just natural resources, but human resources as well. So he's talking about subnational governments. Professor Abiodun, what do you think about it? Professor Adeniyi, what do you think about this? The decisions made on security as far as that meeting was concerned. Let's start with the state police. They have not decided yet. They want to they're forming a committee to discuss it. Is that good?
Okay, but first of all, let me just put something on record. I'm no longer the head of the Department of Mass Communication. I'm Deputy Dean, School of Postgraduate Studies, Baze University.
All right. Thank you very much for that correction.
Just for the record.
Thank you very much.
And and to your very important question, I think that if we just continue the way we were, without necessarily injecting some new ideas into our security ecosystem. And of course, we will be deceiving ourselves. Do not forget, even before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu became president, he's been a main campaigner for state police. And the point has been made severally that in a federation, you hardly can have an effective single unitary central policing arrangement. It has to be devolved, powers have to be decentralized. And over the years, we've been living a lie, claiming that we have only one policing system. Practically all states of the federation have one kind of policing security arrangements. Either last mile in Lagos, whether Yambaga, whether there's one in Kano. I don't. Hisba police in Kano. And everywhere else you see one kind of arrangement, security arrangement, to complement the regular statutory state police. So which means that if we have what about Moteco in the southwest? So if we have all these kind of arrangement, it means that the system is tending towards the diversification of the policing arrangement, of our security arrangement. Then why don't we just embrace it and, of course, call them to arms? Let them bear arms and be able to help us mitigate, the fears that we all live in. Remembering also that those who threaten our security system are threatening it only because they have one advantage over us. They are carrying guns, and if you are carrying guns and it gives you this false sense of authority over the one that is unarmed. And that's the only advantage that criminals have over us. But in a situation where we have some more personnel in our system, not just the federal police, but the state, but a state arrangement, an arrangement that is community-based, that is closer to the people, understands the sentiments and emotions of communities. Of course, we should expect that we will be upping the ante with regards to our ability to not just cope the threats of criminals, but to nip their antics in the bud. And that's what I think. Really, it's just time that we think out of the box, or probably without the box, and of course expand our network of security personnel. And that's the line in which I think the government is thinking, trying to introduce state police, which we've been talking about. But it's a constitutional matter. It's not something that the president or the governors can decide alone. Perhaps that's why they are thinking about discussing it, tabling it for the National Council of States, which is also another route to go. So what they are probably thinking now is that how to do it, without the constitution being tweaked, without constitutional alteration, or how to do it without offending the prescriptions of the constitution. That's the option left for them, because if we have to go through the constitutional route, it will take time. Remember that in the past 24 years, we've been trying to amend our constitution, and we've not succeeded at it. So it's a welcome development. Whatever can be done to make us sleep, live or sleep with our two eyes closed, I think it's in order. But government, we need these things done like yesterday, not today.
All right. Quite interesting, Prof. Adeniyi. One of the things the president also, in his own statement, not the one by Bayo now, is talking about the forest rangers, which is not something most people are aware of. I think the only place I've seen a forest ranger was in the Cross River National Park. We don't see them everywhere. I don't know if we have a department for that. But he's saying that subnational governments, he's endorsed training and equipping of forest rangers by subnational government. Maybe this is sort of how do I call it now? Another way to create state police. Because if the subnational governments are able to equip and train forest rangers, not to protect forests alone, but to protect human beings as well in our communities, then is that not indirectly state policing arrangement, Prof?
Yeah, like I said earlier, any kind of alternative policing arrangement is welcome at this time. Criminals are taking advantage of the fact that, vast areas of Nigerian land, are deindustrialized. There's huge forestation. There has been underdevelopment over the years of local communities, the absence of government, born out of long years of corruption, the absence of transparency and accountability. So they are taking advantage of the failure of government over the years, which has led to or perpetuated underdevelopment. And we're just being call to action now. We're just being reminded of our failures in the past, especially on the part of leaders. And who are those reminding us? Unfortunately, the criminals, because they are taking advantage of empty lands. And if we have to confront them where they are, of course, we have to be looking at alternative means, of confronting them, where ordinarily the forest rangers are supposed to be trained. So if we're going to be arming the forest rangers, why not? Remember, apart from the police, argument has been made that we have 27 security agencies. Apart from the military, we have the NSCDC. There are also sections of them also bear arms. We have the Federal Road Safety Commission, which is also a security agency, even though they don't bear arms for now. But we know that they do need to bear it because they are exposed often on the road. And of course, sometimes they've been victims of assassination and needless death. So the argument here is that, yes, in the short term, we need to confront the criminals. And how do we confront them? Also, for us, for sections of our personnel, to also bear arms, so that there can be balance of terror, because they are terrorizing us because we are not armed, and of course they know that we will be at their mercy if they accost us, if they grab us, So if we have a lot more of our personnel confronting them, of course, there will be balance of terror. There could be reduction in their antics, in their machinations against the Nigerian state. So, my dear, I think anything that will help us deal with insecurity will be helpful, really. Realizing that it has also snowballed. There's been a domino effect from the insecurity situation, leading to inactivity in the farmlands. Farmers cannot go to land. And if farmers cannot go to the farm, of course, there's decrease in production. And if there's decrease in production, the byproduct is shortage of foods in the market. And of course, who are those that will bear the brunt at the end of the day? The people. Because there won't be food, and the little that will be available will be very expensive, which people cannot afford.
Right. So, Prof,
you can see,
Prof,
you can see the chain of causation.
You've made a case, but how will this work? Are the governors constitutionally empowered to purchase weapons and arm groups? Or will this?
There's nothing we want to do that. There's nothing we want to do that we cannot get done. If we have the will, there will always be the way. Remember, after God, the next most powerful sector is the government. Government can be very powerful. They can do it if they want to do it. They can even do it, maybe, there are ways in which the constitution can be, I don't want to use the word circumvented now, but there are ways, there are emergency measures that can be taken to help them procure arms, and so that relevant personnel can be trained. Do not forget, training is very important, because bearing arms is not like a stroll in the park. It needs some techniques. You need to have the right psychology. You have to have the right mindset. You have to know that it's not something you use to settle quarrel. It's something that you use only when life is threatened, or when you want to defend someone else whose life is being threatened, or when you want to deal with a criminal who needs to be taken out outrightly. So if we have all these pieces correctly put in the jigsaw, I think we're good to go.
Okay, let's see who we have on the other side. Thank you, Prof. We'll come back to look at the economic aspect of things very shortly. Good morning.
Hello, Kofi, good morning.
Yeah, name and contribution, please.
Yeah, CJ on the line.
All right.
Yes, for the government policy, I don't care. I'm not bothered at the kind of policy they are bringing. But you see, there's one thing that sets a man free. That is the truth. Prior to 2015, when Jonathan was the president, you see, this is a great. If you have time, go and meet my good friend Pastor Ayo Orisidafo. You can never sit down and talk today. He wants us. Some Northerners know what was happening. It's only like, see, Nigeria has a problem, and that problem is that there's a madman terrorizing this country. How can some people coming from another country kill your doctors, kill your engineers, kidnap your lawyers, and you don't know them? Only in Nigeria that somebody can come from a place like Mali and say his name is Ibrahim Mohammed.
All right. Thank you so much. Because of time, let's pick another caller. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Kofi.
Welcome. Name and contribution, please.
Yeah, my name is Shagun.
Shagun, welcome.
Well, yeah, as it relates to the statement or policies of the government,
yeah,
I remain an unrepentant pessimist. Now, thank God the Prof mentioned something.
Yeah, go on.
The Prof mentioned something. that this current occupier of the seat, when he was governor, was shouting state police. One would have thought if he was preparing to preside over this country, probably one of the plans he would have at the back of his mind is how to, implement the state police. All these things are just reactionary. So if you go back to the meeting was just about an hour. And they came out and were reading out all sorts of things.
Yeah, but they've looked at a way of giving the governors an opportunity to equip a force known as forest rangers.
In an hour, Kofi, in a country that is plagued by insecurity, people are dying every day. In an hour, people just go in and come out and read out stories to us. Come on. We're in it. Look, we don't understand what we have down here. If we do, look,
all right.
in Senate crimes, you're probably going to gather the best brains with regards to security, and they'll have to be brainstorming for days, if not months.
All right. Thank you very much.
Look at what we have.
Thank you so much for your time. Prof, let's go. Sorry about that. We're not taking calls on Skype, so if you're calling Skype, please stop calling. Professor Adeniyi, let's look at another thing the president talked about, which happens to be on the monetary policy and the Central Bank of Nigeria. He's urging Nigerians, everyone, and even the governors as well, to trust the CBN with the management of our country's policy. He's concerned about what he calls the cacophony of postulations on the fluctuation of foreign exchange rates, which he says is adversely affecting the market. So he says everyone cannot be an expert. So if you talk about the FX rate now, the foreign exchange rate of Nigeria, he's saying, for instance, you're part of that cacophony, and it's affecting the market negatively. So keep quiet. Is that a way of looking at it? What do you think?
No, I don't think so. You see, changes are not effected in the social system through preachments, through admonitions, through evangelism. It's not a religious affair; it's a secular affair. Including which involves or entails governance. And governance processes, people's attitude can be altered through rightful policies, well implemented. If the people begin to see government policy and government is seen as being determined to implement them, government is seen as not minding whose ox is God, government is seen as executing these policies religiously, dealing with those who try to circumvent them, apprehending them, prosecuting them, and sanctioning them, it will be a deterrence. It will become a deterrence, and people will see that government is serious. An element of trust that the government president is probably preaching about will be engendered naturally. Okay? It's not something that you can just preach, admonish people about. No, it's something that will come about if government see a determination in practical, empirical terms. And that's why we have to call the fact that policies cannot be implemented. Political will is the main driver of change in every social system. And that's what we have to continue to remind the government about. For now, everything we are seeing is just business as usual. But preaching to people.
But Prof,
and when you are preaching to people, yes, please.
This government has become known for passing the buck. PDP governors come out, they say, the government needs to do better on security, economy. They start blaming them. How much have you collected as allocation? You guys are the problem. Labour Party speaks and says the economy is not working, blah, blah, blah. They come and say, no, you are the, and now the president is blaming public affairs analysts like yourself. If he's blaming no, you're part of it. Except you have not spoken on the economy. He's blaming Bismarck Rewane. He's blaming Kalwaja for the woes of the dollar. Now, sir, is this the sign, the body language of a government that knows what it is doing? When the president says it's paying attention, not telling the people what he wants to do, he's paying attention to what he calls a cacophony. He's even used the word cacophony of postulations on the exchange rate, and he says not everyone can be an expert. Should he just leave people alone and then they focus on their job? Prof, very, very briefly in a minute.
I think I agree with you. People should be left alone. Let them focus on their job. I'll be very serious at it. realizing that, they've been elected for a purpose. We trust them. That's why they were put there in the first instance. The buck stop at their desks now. And if they think that anybody could be brought to book for any offense or infraction, nothing is stopping them from apprehending people. But we're in a democracy. People are wont to idealizing, to profiling their opinion, their suggestions. And when people are going through experiences, people cannot be stopped from talking about them. Yesterday, pounds was nearly about 2,000, dollars was nearly about 1,600 naira.
All right,
so
sir.
It's impossible for people not to talk about these
Thank
things.
You, Prof.
And that's the tragedy of the situation.
Thank you.
That's why we're saying that when policies are initiated, they should be implemented religiously.
Prof, thank you so much. We should have more time, but we have to pull the plugs at this point. But I want to thank you so very kind for your time. Sorry about the initial issues that we all had, and we look forward to having you again.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Prof. Abiodun Adeniyi of Baze University has been our guest on the Morning Crossfire today. This president said, I asked for this job and I'll do it. Don't pity me. And today he's telling Nigerians that the experts and the analysis is affecting the dollar negatively, exchange rate negatively. I think Nigerians will be asking if he really meant what he said when he says, I asked for this job and I'll do it. Don't pity me. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
If the pain and the ache they cause you wahala, make you use rub. When kata and the cold they give you palava, make you use rub. When your muscle they ache and you want fast relief, make you use rub. Just rub and the pain go sharp sharp. Rub it, get out.
Alright, no fam. My name is brother Shaggy aka Mr. Rob. And I can't tell you, say Rob, they deliver fast and long-lasting relief for muscle aches, joint pains, and symptoms of cold and catarrh. Rubbing, pain out.
Mommy, see, I found Daddy's bill with a letter addressed to me.
Really?
Yes, son. By the time you read this, I would have been long gone. Just know that I have taken care of your education with Cornerstone Children Education Fund. Daddy!
Yes, my dear.
I read your letter.
It's okay. You are meant to read the letter after I have died, not now.
Daddy, it's good to have a father that takes care of his children's future.
With Cornerstone Children Education Fund, I will always be there.
Oh, yes. Invest in Cornerstone Children Education Fund and enjoy an interest-yielding savings investment plan that doubles as a life insurance policy for your children's education and attractive interest rate. The policy can be used as collateral and serve as a life cover. Visit cornerstone.com.ng.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.